Hello and welcome back to Nunchuck, where today I'll be teaching you a few different strikes that you can use when fighting with nunchucks. So, an important thing to keep in mind when you're fighting with nunchucks is that after you hit the object that you're trying to hit, the nunchuck is very likely to bounce off in a direction that you were previously not planning on having it go. Therefore, it is important to be mindful of these changes and have certain paths to follow with your nunchucks so that you're able to gain control of them once again. It is very important to keep your arm completely extended as you strike, because then if you hit the target which you're trying to hit, and then the nunchuck comes reflecting in a different direction which you do not want it to go, then it does not come back and hit you. So a very beneficial strike to know, especially when learning other strikes, is the strike and tuck. This strike will help you control your nunchucks and be able to learn other strikes and be able to control and catch those strikes. If you'd like to see a more detailed tutorial on this strike, either click up here or check for the link in the description. So just a simple rundown of the strike and tuck is you take one end of the nunchuck and put it underneath your arm in a tuck, and then you pull with the nunchuck that you're holding onto and release the other end and swing it around and catch it again in a tuck. This is beneficial to know because from any strike that you do and learn, you can then go to the same tuck which you use for the strike and tuck. So a very popular strike is the downward strike. This strike will allow you to gain a lot of momentum and power behind your strike. You can either finish the strike by going downwards and then bring it back behind you and letting it swing freely, or by bringing it down and then catching it in a tuck like that. The great part about the downward strike where you do not catch it in a tuck is that you can have a lot more momentum on the other end as it is swinging, because you do not need to control it or slow it down so that it can redirect or impact off another part of your body. So another very similar strike that is very powerful and gains a lot of momentum quickly is the strike going across your body and bring it to the opposite waist. In this one, it is important to accelerate quickly so that you get up to speed and have a lot of power in your swing, but also to decelerate quite quickly too, so that you do not overshoot on the redirect and hit yourself that way. If you'd like to get a little more momentum out of your swings, instead of doing a direct redirect, try doing an air stall where if you bring it over to that side, you trace the other end around and slow it down that way, instead of having it revolve around your body where it could potentially hit you. Another great strike is the horizontal strike. In this strike, you're bringing it from one bicep to the other bicep. So in doing this, you can either wrap it around each side, or you can air stall it and trace the nunchuck around and get a lot more power out of your swing that way. A great part about the horizontal strike is that you can gain a lot of momentum by air stalling it on each side and not hitting yourself that way. And then if you hit the target which you're trying to hit and the nunchuck comes reflecting in a different direction, then you're able to simply deflect the nunchuck off to the side instead of having it come at you. If you happen to be in a fight where you can compensate speed for power, you can add extra spins to your strikes in order to gain a lot more power that way. Keep in mind that this is much slower when you're trying to strike, but this will help you gain a lot more power out of your strikes. A upward strike going across your body is important if you've just done a downward strike going across your body, because then you'll be able to restore it to the same position which you had to either do a simple downward strike or a downward strike going across your body. Also, a simple upward strike coming from the side going upwards and behind is also important, because if you just done a downward strike that goes straight down, you'll be able to bring it back up and use that as a strike. So I hope that you learned something today. If you'd like to see my other tutorials in this How to Fight with Nunchucks series, either click up here or check for the link in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials coming in the future, and go check out some of the other tutorials that I have on my channel.